What's up there? This is Mr. Mike Kaufman. In this video, we're going to take a look at Canva. Canva is a web-based or application digital design tool that's intuitive, easy, and helps you create really professional looking things, whether it be a poster, social media posts, or in this video, we're going to take a look at how to use it to create infographics. The skills that we're going to cover really will help you though in creating anything with Canva. Now the video is a little bit long, so if you want, go down to the comment section and you can use the hyperlinks, timestamps to different parts of the video to jump around and get to that spot to help you wherever you are with this tool. Now why Canva? First of all, it creates really top quality professional looking designs, and with that it's easy to use. Now the free version gives you tons of resources, tons of elements to add to whatever it is that you're creating, as well as if you are willing to jump up to the pro version or spend a couple bucks here and there, you can really get some top looking high quality images to be able to again create professional looking designs. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, to start off, we must join Canva, and in this case choose the option that works best for you. And then I always find it easy just to sign up with my Google account, and there we go, we're done. Alright, now it's going to ask you then a couple other questions right there. For example, what are you working on? What kind of stuff are you doing? So again, choose the option that works best for you and best makes sense, right? In this case, I'm a teacher, or if you are watching it and a student. I'm going to skip inviting team members, and I'm going to go right hopefully to that Canva homepage, and I'm going to go into more design types. Now Canva has plenty of templates to choose from, and in this case I'm going to go down here on the left side of the menu and I'm going to click Find Templates. Now you can see you've got what they claim is 50,000 different options, right? And like I said in the opening, we're using this to create infographics, so I'm going to go down there and choose infographics. Now you can also scroll down and click on further filters, right? So for example, if you're looking at more of a process type of infographic, you can click that, or more of a timeline based one, which will help again find you ones that are very specific to what your need is. All right, I'm going to choose process just as an example. Now as you're looking through, please note that any of the color schemes or layouts or really anything on it can be changed. Right, so if you choose one and you say, well, here's one, I really like it, but instead of having this bluish grayish color, I want it to be a little bit brighter, you can still choose this template and then adjust the colors. All right, I'm actually going to go with this one right here because I have an infographic that's going to need a couple different sections, and so this seems like this is going to be a good layout. I'm going to then click Use this template. All right, it's now going to open up a new file that's going to be saved and web-based, so I can always come back to it from any computer. And notice that I can also change the layout even after the fact that I've chosen this, right? So if I look at it and I'm like, nah, this is not quite it, I can always choose another one. All right, so the first thing now we want to take a look at is how to change the text from the template. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to make it a little bit easier to see. And to change the text, I simply have to click on the text box, and there my cursor pulled right up. You can also double click, all right, and then highlight to replace it. All right, so I'm going to change my text. We can go down there and change the subheading to Now notice this text is all in caps, and I can see that that's what's been selected here. So if that's not working for me, I can always highlight it and unselect capitalization, although I do think Canva had it right. I keep that all caps. I can also change the font style and so forth. Now just be conscious of whenever you're creating something, you don't want to use more than just a couple font styles. Really more than two gets a little bit uneven and it's not really cohesive. But again, if I wanted to choose another one, I can go down there and change. Now I can also change colors right from here. They've got some default palettes and that Canva has standard with all the things that you create. And then they also include the document colors, right? The colors already being used in the document that you're working with, right? So it's really cool to help you stay within a color scheme. Now, if none of these are working for you, you can add, and you can change it by the hex code right there, or you can also just jump around and find a color that works for you. Now, once you add a new color, so adjust the darkness, hit return, that is now part of my color document. So it's added there, so it makes it easy to add then that color to another part of my infographic. All right, now, realistically, from there I can also change the size. I can highlight and change the size of it. If I want something a little bit bigger or not. And then what's also pretty neat, and a feature that I definitely like, is when text boxes are grouped. So you can see here I've got 1, 2, 3 text boxes, but they're grouped together, meaning when I move it, right, it acts as one element. But I can also click on it and I can ungroup it. Right, so for example, if I just want to move the bottom one down a little bit, or the middle one, right, I can also ungroup it. And then when I'm done, I can select them all, just click and drag till they're all highlighted, and then click group again. Now once they're grouped, you don't have to change the size with the font option up there. I can simply drag and resize it. Right, so I definitely find this really helpful. It makes things a little bit easier. Once I have the general size, I can then go in and get it exactly how I want it. Now you also notice as I'm moving it around, it has the guiding lines, that purple line that's now showing me that it is centered up. And those are definitely helpful for making sure that your layout is evenly spaced. All right, so now next thing we want to take a look at is how to add graphics, right? How to add different elements to your infographic, right? So we've got a couple in there that are standard. Now notice it says has a watermark, and I'll talk about that later. But to add different things, I can simply just go up to search. Let's say I'm looking for a picture, I don't know, of a fish. All right, type in there, and then I have all these options that come up. And again, here's why I love Canva, right? Look at these professional looking options. So many to choose from, whatever it is that I'm looking for. Now you do notice that some of them are either labeled pro or a price. Now what that means is with the free account, right, the pro images right there aren't standard. And if I were to add it, all right, it's going to again ask me saying that I want to pay for it. Right. Now it still lets me add, even though I'm not signing up for it. But what I don't want to do, and I'm going to maybe choose a different one so it's a little bit easier to see. Right, what you notice there is it keeps the watermark on top of it. Right, so this is going to make my design look ugly. So you don't want to use the pro version, the pro images, if you are not willing to sign up for a pro account. Right, so again, do not use these unless you're willing to sign up for it. And the same thing with the ones that are charged. Right, at, let's say for example $1, right? So if I choose this plate of fish right here, again you see the watermark there. Now in order to remove it, I'm going to have to pay $1, or when I go to download it, it will then not let me until I pay. So now if you're willing to pay and it's something that you need, and you can do it, but again, they have so many free options you might not need to. All right, so let's go in there and choose a free option. All right, so I've got the fish and the hook there. Now, sometimes you can change the color of the graphics, and I'll know that based on when I click on it, either the color will pop up there or not. So in this case, I cannot change the color of the fish, right? It's stuck there as black. All right, but let's say I want to add maybe this fish, and now you notice Canva's giving me all these different colors that I can choose from, right? These are the 2 colors used in the fish right there. I can go there and change the 2 colors. And there we go. Now my fish is in the color scheme of my infographic. Right, so super cool option. Right, there we go. Super cool option. And what I also love about it is if I were to choose those colors, if I were to leave them in there, right, they will then also be added to my document colors. Right, so again, if I'm adding these elements and I do like the colors and they do work, they get saved up there so I can then include text or other things with those colors. Now to resize it, again, I just highlight it, and I can click and drag and make it bigger, and then I can move it around. And again, notice those purple guidelines that help me evenly space everything. Those are my friends. I want to use them. Now, if you're searching for an image that Canva just doesn't have, right, you're looking for a very specific thing, and you're like, you know what, these fish are not working for me, you can always then go out and do a Google search. What I highly recommend is make sure that you're keeping your style the same, right? If you're going to be using, right, pictures or line drawings, you don't want to then add in an actual photograph in there. You want to keep your infographic cohesive. So I'm going to go in there, I'm going to search images, and I'm going to get into my tools, and again I want to use type and stick with clip art. And maybe it is that I want to search for a specific color, or maybe I want to make sure that the background is transparent so we don't have that white box around it. From here I can choose the image that I want to add. Also very helpful is getting into my usage rights, right, to find things that I'm allowed to use. Right, so now these are things that I'm allowed to use. Right, let's say this fish is it. Notice you got the checkered background indicating that this is a transparent background, so it'll fit nicely on it. And then I can simply save the image or just drag it over to my desktop. And then when I'm back into Canva, all I have to do is simply take that image and drag it right in. It's going to upload it. And once, you can see it's still working there. Once it's done uploading, I can then drag it in and add it to my infographic. And I can resize it and move it just like any other element that I've added. Now do note that I can't change the color, right? So that feature is not offered for images that are brought in from the outside. So you want to find things that are in your color scheme. And again, that's where those Google search filters, those tools can come in handy, right? Choosing colors that are in your scheme. All right, so we've taken a look now here at how to add elements, how to resize them, how to add and change the colors of texts and resize that as well. And we talked a little bit about the layout tool. Next thing for infographics, which is such a powerful tool that Canva offers, is adding things like charts. Now you can see here we've got all these bunch of options here: shapes, free photos, grids, lines, illustrations. Right? These are all things that you can peruse, right? If you want to add, for example, circles and different shapes. And again, notice that some of these come with multiple color options. I sort of went off task there. I said I was going to go into charts, but I guess I want to show you this a little bit more. Right? And again, some of these have fills. For example, this one, and again, got two colors going on here. I can change there, and then maybe that one to the light blue, whatever it is, and I can move it. Now, if you're adding in some of these circles, let's say you want that in the background, you want some round elements to break up the squareness of this, but it's in front of the text. So what am I going to do? I'm going to highlight the object, and I'm going to go over to arrange, and I can then move it back. And notice we got these little dots, right, sort of giving me a sense of where it lies with all the other elements. Right? So now it's sort of towards the middle. I could send it all the way back so it's not in front of anything. There we go. Now I can also do and this is one of my favorite techniques here with designs, is also working with transparency, where I can make it transparent and just sort of sit there so it's a design element, but it's not really taking away from my other things. All right, looks great. Now again, you can go back, there's all types of other elements, lines, right? Great things going on here. Again, different color schemes, all these different patterns, and look how many of them are offered up for free, right? You have so many great options here to really help you design awesome things. And you can add it in there, you can recolor it, resize it, and of course, arrange it, right? Now, going back to then our charts, right? So charts, really powerful tool for infographics, right? So I want to go down there and click on the charts, and we've got a bunch of different options that pop up, right? Line graphs, bar graphs, pie charts. You got some sort of Venn diagram charts going on. And again, look at all these fantastic free options here that really just looks professional, looks great. All these different colors you're able to change. Like we got pyramid charts, and this is really, again, top quality stuff, timeline stuff in there. All right, but let's say we're working with, for example, percents, and you want to add a pie chart. Click on it, and then it gets added. I'm going to drag it down exactly where I want it to go, resize it, and now I want to add in my own data. Let's move this text over a little bit. All right. All right, so now I want to then update the data. So I click on it, and then I go over there where it says data, and I'm going to then label my items. Right, so for example, my topic here is fish. And then let's say I'm only dealing with 3 things. I can then erase those other items and again it erases it then from it, and then I can set the values, right? So, and then notice it automatically adjusts. You can see it gets the percents there that's been calculated for me, and then I can go up there and change the color style, and now that's working in my color scheme and set. Now, if you don't want the labels on there, let's say it's sort of in your way, I got a cool little hint here. Right now, the text is set at black, but if I go over here, right next to my text coloring, right, got my font style, the size, and the coloring, I can go there and I can choose the same color as the background color, right? And then when I do that, the text is still there, but I can't see it, right? So if I want to then maybe lay information on top of it, right? For example, I want some text or an image to go on there. Let's say I want this fish to represent the 50%. And again, if it's behind it, I can then take my chart, right? Click on more, go to arrange, and send it to the back. I can then take that fish. I can also change its orientation, and let's say the fish represents 50%. And then I want to put a little text on there. I can go over to my text. They've got, again, all these preset templates for me, which are pretty awesome. But let's say I want to add a little bit of body text and maybe write the number. I can click off, take it, and then I can drag it and, again, put it where I want. I can, again, change orientation and so forth. So I can then label my own chart if I want. Right now, again, if you want to use labels that are coming with it, remember what I did is I just can go back and change the font color so it pops up, right? Now, when you are totally done with your Canva graphic, you can simply go to download, all right? And it's going to recommend which style works or which file type works best. You can always update it, right? PDF, PDF print, and so forth. If you are going to be printing it, PDF works great. If you're going to be adding it to something which takes images, JPEG or PNG work just as fine as well. It'll take a second, for example, once you click download for it to prepare your design, as it says. When it's done, it's going to ask me to give it a name. I always like to keep my work nice and organized. And then I like, again, my things on the desktop, which you can always save it somewhere else. Click save. And then if I were to head over to my desktop, there it is right now. Of course, this one doesn't look very good. I didn't take the time to get all those design elements in. Instead, it was just a preview of how to get going with Canva and how to use it. All right, so that's it. That's an overview of how to use Canva. Again, one of my favorite design tools. It allows you to create really professional looking stuff, whether it be from a template, again, one of the 50,000 templates that they have offered up for you, or whether it be from scratch, which is something I often do as well. Again, using all their design elements and their color schemes really is awesome. Again, just go down to that the comment section or the description section, excuse me, to jump around using those time-linked different parts of the video to get to the spot that works for you. Thanks.